In this election cycle, many candidates are keeping a distance from social issues. What social issue do you believe to be the most important in securing our foundational blocks? Why, and how must it be addressed? You have 2 minutes.
I think one of the most egregious examples of how a social issue was tried to be cast aside to great detriment is the loss of life, and that was in the health care bill. When the health care bill went through the House, it was bad policy. It was not going to help reduce the cost of health care. It was a false hope. But one of the amendments we got in fact, the only amendment, because we offered 205, and the Speaker allowed one amendment to be voted, and it was about protecting life. It was about saying that we will continue a long-standing tradition, rule, procedure, practice, moral ethic, that we will not use taxpayer funding for abortion services. That was in the House health care version. We went to the Senate, and they watered down that version to the point where it was not protecting life. It was going to allow your money to be used to fund abortions. It came back 2 weeks ago, and we battled to defeat that on a lot of grounds, including that. Unfortunately, in the end, a group of pro-life Democrats made an agreement for an executive order from the president that would do what they believed the House had done. And I respect that in their hearts they may believe they achieved that success. The truth is they did not. An executive order does not stand up against statute. An executive order is subordinate to statute. So what the bill says is what will carry the day when that issue is challenged in court. The court will look to what the statute says, and that will allow funding for abortion services. The executive order, not only does it not override that, but for it to be defended, this administration would have to defend that executive order. This is the president who said he would sign the Freedom of Choice Act, legalizing abortion, overturning Roe v. Wade. Do we believe this administration would defend his own executive order to prohibit funding for abortions? I think not. That issue is about life, and we need to be focused on protecting life in all aspects.
Mike, in this election cycle, many candidates are keeping a distance from social issues. What social issue do you believe to be the most important in securing our foundational blocks? Why, and how must it be addressed? You have 2 minutes.
I think where we are in this country with regard to entitlements is what is eroding this country. It's causing this country to fail. It's causing us as individuals to lose our rights. We have too many people that don't accept their responsibility as citizens. Too often we find today the entitlement programs have become a lifestyle. This federal government, this Congress, and past Congresses have encouraged that by continued funding for programs, welfare programs, and other types of programs. If we're going to be successful as a country, each and every one of us, we have to stand up and accept responsibility for our actions and who we are. That's what will make this country great again. I agree with Todd as well on the issue of the right to life, the abortion issue. There is no room in the federal government to participate in funding abortion. Thank you.
Todd, you have 1 minute.
Thank you, Gary. Again, I would stand on my record. When we talk about family planning, I support family planning funds. A good friend and role model for me growing up in public service, Peck Foster's here. Peck was a strong pro-life member of the State House. But Peck, I think I can say it right, but you supported family planning because if we stop the unwanted pregnancy, we avoid the issue of an abortion. And so family planning is important. But when we start giving family planning money to entities that are promoting abortion and suing the federal government over laws that protect minor children from going across state lines to get abortions without parental knowledge or consent, that entity has lost its right to get those funds, even on the family planning side, because of the commingling of the funds that can occur. I voted with Mike Pence to deny funding to Planned Parenthood because of its engagement on the abortion issue, not because I'm against family planning. I'm a co-sponsor of a bill that would do that and make it permanent law, not just through the appropriations process. Thank you.
Mike, 1 minute.
Certainly, the idea of funding Planned Parenthood is something that I could not support. I do believe in the right to life. As well as I agree that we need to do something with regard to personal responsibility. And believe me, the two issues are very closely connected. Of teaching our young people to practice not having sex as a teenager, not becoming pregnant. We need to teach our young people. That is a responsibility that we need to embed in the minds of our young people.